probably 30 years of life before I figured out how to play. You know, like probably well into the kids, heading into grandkids before I figured out, like, I like to play. Like, get on the floor and play. And it does help me feel connected. I also know that I have time limits. You ever notice that in yourself? Like, I probably have a very short time period. Probably like 15, 30, I can play house, and then I'm kind of done. But knowing that about myself helps me engage with my kids. I know how long I can play. I know how long I'll last. I know I can't play board games with my kids because I get too focused on winning, and that doesn't always work for my 2-year-old, right? So, no, I'm just kidding. So what are some behaviors that are difficult?
Lying.
Lying and stealing. Number 1 and number 2 on the charts for almost every parent I work with. And I find comfort, although it may not bring a lot, and that almost every child on my caseload, that's present. But what is your goal as a parent of this child? What do I want in them? What do I see in them? How can I encourage them? Is my goal just, to get them through the school year? I don't care if they learn a darn thing. I just want them to have a successful year of school without being suspended. Right? Or, it may be more than that, but sometimes that's a big one for a kid, to be able to get through school. What about to get through a day of school? I just want them to make it through one day. Of that. What strength of character do you see in your child? Where is that gift? When that child was created, what was that gift that was implanted in them that you can draw out and focus on, right? Maybe you have that strong-willed child. Oh, my lordy. Anybody in here have strong-willed child? Like a genuine strong-willed child? I've had one. My blessings on all of you, because it was tough. But when you see that in them, knowing how to work with it, right, that it can benefit you, but also knowing that that's a gift. That child is going to be so determined in their life, and drawing on it, and seeing how you can mold it and work it, right, so that it can benefit them instead of hinder them. So let's talk about what's appropriate. When a parent leaves a room, the child becomes upset. This is normal for 5 months to 7 years. 5 months to 7 years? Oh, okay, that's not a good idea. 5 to 7 months. Parent leaves the room, the child kind of whimpers, cries. Parent comes back, healthy response, right? Lying. We all love lying. It's normal. Usually starts 2 to 3 years of age. Should be resolved by 5 to 6 years of age. That's why sometimes coming into kindergarten. Lying, stealing is about the same. 2 years, resolved by school age. What is the cycle of behaviors? Generally, there's some type of outside trigger that causes that child to react or feel the need to react, right? Child reacts in whatever way listed. Parent is triggered, often viewing the behavior as defiant, rebellious, or as disrespect if it's out of line, if it's out of character, right? Parent reacts, the child is further triggered, uses a loss of words, loss of thought, loss of action. That's where your tantrumings come in, and then they'll go into fight, flight, or freeze, generally speaking. And then it'll continue, or else it'll exit. Right? Coping mechanisms. Coping skills are coping mechanisms that help the child deal with the distress of the trauma. And then they continue. It's basically a coping skill is a learned skill. It can be something that's taught or something I learned keeps me alive. And it goes back to that fight, flight, or freeze. Trigger happens. My coping skill is lie. Because if you tell the truth, you're going to get beat. So what coping skill did I learn? It's maladaptive, right? It's not really benefiting me anymore when I'm in a healthy place. But it's my skill that I've learned. I've been taught it one way or another. Attachment, the ability to connect emotionally to another person, to trust them for security, and hold to them for stability. Right? Remember that firm foundation? It's about attachment. Permanence is to know people and things exist even when you can't see them. It's the ability to hold them internally, the knowledge and belief that you're not alone in the world. This one comes into play with our kids the most at night. At night is where I see it the most. And then the separation for school, or depending on the age. But especially at night. Why? The house is quiet. I'm usually in my own room. Sometimes a room with siblings, right? But I'm usually in my own room. And so then I have this feeling that I'm disappearing. Okay, why attachment? I love this proverb. I just found this today. It's a Jewish proverb. Anyone who goes too far alone goes mad. Whoa, like, I wonder how old this thing is, quite frankly. Yeah, anyone who goes too far alone goes mad. That makes sense. Kind of puts some things in perspective for me. This cycle, can you see how all these messages that they've been taught, right? My 15-year-old, comes and engages with me, normal, difficult. No, I want my curfew to be at 10:30. Everybody else's curfew's at 10:30 or whatever, right? Whatever it is nowadays. But, right? And there's this teenage engagement, right? Okay. Well, what if that child is really 2 years old inside because something happened, and now that you're getting this a little different look, right? Because it's going to be a little bit more like, I'm not coming in at 10:30. I don't care what you say or what you do. Parents triggered. This child's rebellious. I can't get a hold of them, whatever. So parents triggered, child's triggered, escalation, boom, till one of you exits. Make sense? That is our body, our large muscle, right? So if nobody has ever hugged me, I haven't desensitized in that area. So you hug me, I have no ability to determine that this is tight, this is loose. I just know it hurts. I just know I don't like it. Because last time I got touched, it hurt. Does that make sense? Like before, if somebody touched me, it was hitting me. Or if somebody touched me, it was throwing me. Or whatever. Right? Especially if they're little. It's really tough because it messes with our brain. Messes with how we think. Because we're like, I'm not hurting you. I'm not hurting you. We'll get to empathy a little bit later, but FYI, it really does hurt. If you ever do get one of those really tough, but it really does hurt. It's desensitizing them, but usually letting them give you their back, holding their hands, finger hugs. Give them finger hugs to start desensitizing. This is hard, this is soft. They start to get some affection, they can go to their hands. Arm hugs, butterfly hugs. Teach them to hug themselves. Also, is if you know that you are going to separate, like daycare or you're going out for the evening, don't say, I'm going or I need to leave. Anything about separation, you talk about what? The future. I'm going to be back. I'll be right back. I'm going to be right here. Give them an object that says, you know what, here's my sweater. Do you think you could hold it for me while I'm gone and keep it safe? Or they know you have that special teddy. If you don't have that special teddy that you keep on your bed, get a special teddy that you keep on your bed. Right? That's Mama's special teddy, but I need you to hold him and keep him safe for me while I'm gone. And you know what? I'm going to be right back. I'll be back really soon. I'm going to be right, I'm just going to be right there. I'll be right back. Right? Because they're connected. They're going to hold Teddy. You're going to come home at whatever time after the movie, and there they are with Teddy, right? Building that attachment to you, and also feeling safe. Why? Because Mom said she's coming back, right? So they're going to have a few times. Usually, at this point in the game, I'll look at them and I'll say, okay, lying is always wrong. Usually that starts with the opening of their mouth, right? Lying is always wrong. Telling the truth is always right. Do you want a do-over? Mm-hmm. Okay, go. And I'll go, oh, I took the cookie from the cookie jar, right? Or whatever, right? It's usually bigger than that, but whatever, right? Stealing is always wrong. We're always honest. Do you need a do-over? Yes, I need a do-over. Okay. Yes, I stole the candy from the store. What should we do? Should we go? Do you have the money to buy it? No. Okay, well, and we need to take a bath. What should we do, right? Whatever, right? So you're going to dress it the same way you would with a 2 to 5-year-old. And know that they're not going to get it. They're not going to get lying and stealing. It's developmental. Okay, I'll go over that in just a second. Until they get some of that foundation, right? The world's got to be safe. But the other piece of it is, go to the child and touch them. There are kids who, when you touch them and they're already in panic or they're going into this tantrum state, they will react, right? You'll flip them into complete shutdown. Okay, so you want to know that kid and don't do that again, right? Okay, yeah. But generally, physical contact will calm a child, but anyone. Physical contact, just walk over, touch them. What do you need? And then they'll tell you. And their system will calm down because of the physical contact. Areas of attachment that are affected by trauma. Attachment is ability to hold, make, hold, and trusting relationships. So I can only depend on myself. There's fear in that. This is what happens for kids, right? And this is where neglect comes in. Because if nobody ever met my need, right, then I've had to care for myself. So I have been in complete control of my situations to keep myself alive, and that feels completely out of control for a child. Reasoning through the age, lacks time, space. Often, this is where we go back, right? We usually learn somewhere around 5 years old, 6 years old, that there's tomorrow. What a concept, right? So these kids who didn't get 1, who didn't get 2, who didn't get 3 or 4, you're expecting them to understand that they're going to get a cell phone when they turn 16? No, because who lives till 16, right? So they don't even understand the concept of tomorrow. Do you know how many hugs an adult needs, a healthy adult needs? 5. Adult needs 5. To keep their system healthy, they've shown. Adults who get 5 hugs a day, well, get 5 kids, 1 from each kid. You're doing great, right? No. 5 a day, and they actually are healthier, physically, mentally, but take a time out. Say, kids know time out, right? They get it at school, the thinking chair, whatever they call it. You say, hey, you know what? I need you to just give me a minute. I need to go to the bathroom, right? Everybody has to go to the bathroom. Kids get it. Doesn't matter how old they are, right? And you go in the bathroom and you close the door, you drop on your knees and you say, Lord, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to kill it. I'm going to kill it. Right? Give me the strength. Take a deep breath. Cry. Whatever. Hit the toilet. Right? And you walk out. You go, okay. Back in the game. Right? Give yourself a time out. You might need it. It might be all you need. You walk away and you go, oh my gosh. Done it. Right? Oh my gosh. I'm the problem. You know what? I am so sorry. I just realized that I came home really frustrated. You've been such a good girl. Thank you so much, for all that you did. I know you were trying. I appreciate it. I'll clean up the mouth, right? Okay, Nehemiah 9:17 and 19 says, they refused to obey, nor were they mindful of your wonders and the miracles which you did among them. Talking about the people of God, right? Boy, do we know how to be rebellious or what, right? But it says, but you are a God ready to pardon, gracious and merciful, slow to anger, right? Parent factor. Slow to anger and of great steadfast love, and you did not forsake them. You were the pillar of the cloud that departed not from them during the day and led them in the way, nor were you the pillar of fire by night that led them in the way that they should go. How great and merciful is our God.